analogous to someone from another planet.
Right.
In a way. So, like, he used some of that in getting into Ender's Game and his other sci-fi channel.
Interesting.
But yeah, his thing in there was cool. I listened to that this morning and I was like, yeah. And then another guy was talking about how they're finding microorganisms in like super hot places.
Oh yeah, the thermal vents. Yep. Underneath the ice.
Miles below the fucking.
Yeah, which is going to be amazing when we get our asses over to the freaking moon on Jupiter and Saturn.
Yeah. So it's like that's all forms of life, and if we were just some form of microorganism,
Well, that's why I think people who think that like we're the only ones that are fucking ridiculous stupid. Yeah. Because I can guarantee like there's a original. You know, it started.
He said something different too, and that was really interesting. That it's just like, duh, right? But we don't think about it.
Yeah, like it had to just come out of a rock that just landed here one day, and you're like, oh shit, yeah, okay, I can live here, and the thing was like good. You know what I mean? Because like life is all over. It has to be. It's got to be a poison on everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no way that these stupid, simple molecules coming together creating life. Oh, it just happened here.
Right.
Then get the fuck out of here, dude. There's over 900 million systems in this fucking galaxy alone, or in this galaxy, and there's 800 billion galaxies that we know of that we can see in our little space set of time.
Right.
It's all, like I said, it's all relative. Like we can see out to 30 to the power 10 this way and 30 to the power 10 this way. So we can see this narrow slit that we're in, right? Well, there's tons of shit beyond that.
Yeah.
And we're only seeing this narrow slit, and we can only see it because it's past.
Because what's hard is call it the universe. It's like
You've seen the maps of the universe?
we don't know if it has
It's so
an end,
amazing,
right?
Yeah. Does it?
Right. Apparently. Well, that's part of the thing that they think now. Is, I think maybe that might have actually changed more recently. But I think like a year ago, I was and that what they used to think was happening, they finally like, oh, it's still expanding.
Yeah.
And everyone's like,
Yeah.
okay.
I think the most interesting thing is everybody talks about our solar system formation happening, 4.6, 4.8 billion years ago, right? Yeah, and that's about when our planet started to form and all this jazz because of the rock layers and stuff. Nobody ever talks about how we have all the elements here, because there had to be a supermassive star that exploded and now everything reformed into our shit. Nobody ever talks about before that.
So would that be
The only reason we have
Big Bang?
No. The Big Bang was over 14.9 billion.
Right.
So you got a 10 billion gap. You know what I mean? Where there could have been stars that lived and exploded. In fact, the first stars that ever lived only lived for a couple minutes and blew up. You know what I mean? They were supermassive stars, supermassive explosions.
Well, I think we don't know.
And then there was other there was another star where our galactic star is with all its little galactic stars that had to be here, and all of a sudden, boom! It had to blow up to give us gold, all our heavy elements. Anything over carbon was definitely because of another star.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because the only thing that exists in the universe that ever did exist from the beginning that started was helium or hydrogen. Sorry.
I don't know.
Hydrogen is the
Maybe.
only element because it's the single on single proton and electron. So therefore, everything had to be made in a star, and then we already know that. We know that gold's made in the center of a star that's going supernova, and it's made in the last couple seconds. We know that iron is only formed in stars that are dying, because iron is an instant killer of stars. Our star only has hydrogen and very trace amounts of helium in it right now. When our star starts to burn only helium and it runs out of hydrogen, that's when it's going to go red giant in about 4 billion years. So there's tons of shit that, like, where do we get our elements from? Oh, well, this area of space had to be a big-ass fucking star that exploded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's interesting. Really interesting.
Or a couple of them.
I wish they would talk about that more.
They don't. And it's like, well, you don't because we don't have the information for it. Well, the information is out there in the asteroids. That's where your information is. Yeah, they've crashed together 5 billion fucking times. But look at the asteroid belt, and then go even further, and we need probes that already are out in the Kuiper belt. The Kuiper belt's where it's at for information. They're just frozen pieces of ice
Yeah.
and rock.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we need to pull in and see. Okay, is there life in that?
But that's what pisses me
That's
off.
where I wanna
Like,
look.
Let's go to the moon. And do nothing.
Well, the moon is a great place to start as a base for getting fuel.
Well, to go there, plant a flag, and you come back and not.
Well, that was just Cold War
It's
thing.
fucking right, but it's still.
I seriously want us to use the moon and Mars. And did you see that they have new mappings out on Mercury that show the elemental breakdown of Mercury? Oh my God, that bitch has so much shit on it that we can use. Oh my Christ! Like if you're talking about a platform for anything, man, it's amazing. It has so much. There's a lot of water on it that nobody knew about. Not fucking Mercury, you know, that little piece of shit rock this close to the sun.
Weird.
Here, let me pull up the map for it because it's amazing. We need to. Mercury map. I can't spell today. Oops. Maybe I saved it. God damn, I can't spell. Word. But this color map shows all these different elements. And it's just splattered with shit. And there's assloads of titanium.
Wow.
Just tons of titanium there. Ridiculous amounts. More than is ever here.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
it's insane. But, I mean, there's all different types of... There's a big map of it somewhere. Oh, right here. Like, this is Mercury, you know, busted down into its elements, and it's
Wow.
stupid.
Wow.
Like, it's got more elements than we could have ever guessed. You know, and yeah, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? That's
Yeah.
all infrared scoping.
That's cool.
The blue and all that stuff is hydrogen and helium. Basic elements for making water. You know what I mean? And then, like, all this red and stuff like that, and orange and stuff is titanium and iron and different shit. I mean, it's intense.
Yeah. It's interesting to think about.
Look, so
too,
my viewers hear us talking. They're like, I want to see. See, this is the planet Mercury, and this is its elemental breakdown. It's intense. Like, nobody would have ever guessed it. I want to see.
So this shit could be, what's interesting to me too, is it could be, you know, we say our planet, the sun, has got a life of X, maybe
Oh yeah,
5
this is
billion
who I'm
years.
talking to, guys. This is my buddy Darren. Say
up?
hi, Darren. So
What's up, America?
I'm Erica.
America, just here to say hi.
No,
America. You know, like in Scrooge. Whole world, Claire.
Yeah.
America. So, if our planet or the sun has 4 or 5 billion years left, that might be suitable for life. You
I
know
wouldn't
what
say
mean?
Mercury is ever suitable for life, considering
I mean,
the hot
but
side
our
is over
planet-
870 degrees
Well,
Fahrenheit,
not
and the cold
Mercury
side.
because it's so close to the
Yeah.
sun.
But what
Other
seriously,
suns,
what I think is, look at Mars. Mars used to be a planet worth a damn, and then
Right.
it got too
That's-
cold. The core
that's what I'm talking
the core
about.
froze out. That's what's gonna
There's got to
happen
be
to Earth.
planets out there that aren't. We couldn't go there right now, but
Right.
in a billion years
Yeah.
or less,
Yeah.
that might be suitable.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's tons. We've already found a couple that are super suitable, almost just twice the size of Earth, around the same area of the sun. You know, their sun, stuff like that.
Right. So,
Reckon I
like,
could
the thing
stop
that's
them.
interesting, I think the Orson Scott Card dude that said that was cool. He's like, how did he say it? It had to do with oxygen, and he's like, it's not that. Fuck, how did he say that?
It's not that it doesn't exist out there or anything like that.
No, for our planet, it's not like it's not because oxygen exists that we live here.
We live here because oxygen exists. Yeah, something like that.
It's like and it wasn't always oxygen here.
Well, my point before was
Oxygen has
Mars is a
evolved
planet
over time to now all the forces on this fucking,
Right.
in this biosphere produce oxygen, which is now inhabitable for beings like us.
which is funny
and
because
other
it didn't
plant-
used to be the same levels it used to be.
Right.
It used to be a lot worse, and I'm thinking this is where my point was going was Mars used to be a planet with water, and I almost guarantee there used to be
do.
life on it, like just
I-
microbial.
No, right?
You know,
Yeah.
Earth
I agree.
is at the point right now, and every orbit we move out about an inch away from the sun, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Venus,
it's really-
Venus in the future, could be the next Earth, because Venus, as it is right now, is too hot. You know, it's sitting at about 600 degrees Fahrenheit, and it has a huge, thick atmosphere, which means the core in that thing is still turning.
Yeah.
Because it's got to create a magnetic poles to have any type of atmosphere in the first place, because otherwise the sun would have blasted it away by now with the solar radiation. Solar winds would have blasted away the atmosphere. If our magnetic shit goes away, if our core freezes
Right,
up, we're
right.
screwed in 10 minutes.
Right.
We're fucked. You know, and there's already places around the planet. In fact, there's a huge area on planet Earth that is switching polarity right outside of Brazil across the Atlantic
Oh.
Ocean. It's about every time the International Space Station and telescopes go over it, they actually have to shut down instruments because there's
Wow.
no protection there. So they have to
Wow.
shut down systems. It's very weak force, but it looks as though, if you didn't know this, but the planet Earth has switched polarity about a fucking couple hundred times.
We're overdue.
We're overdue
we're
for a
way
polarity
overdue,
switch.
yeah.
It's supposed
Yeah.
to happen like once every 50,000 years, and it's been like 70.
70 or
And we're
more.
like, scientists are looking at the rock and shit, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna get fucked real soon.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a bad thing. We're still gonna have the field to protect us,
Right.
but north is gonna be south, south's gonna be
It's
north.
gonna be, yeah.
It's gonna be bad for electronics.
It's gonna be, yeah. It's
gonna be a shitty period where
yeah.
brownouts are gonna be rolling for a couple hundred years and shit like that. But what I'm saying though is Venus, I can see that being a really good candidate for making another atmosphere if life ever finds its way there. The problem with it right now is it's too acidic. It's so acidic there that we sent probes there and they lasted 20 minutes,
Wow.
and the electronics just fried out because they were eaten away. But who's to say our planet wasn't like that when it
Right.
first formed?
Totally. Yeah, we don't know.
And Venus is just sitting in its place right now. It's slowly scooting back, just like Earth, an inch a year or whatever. But in, let's say, a billion years, let's say it starts to cool down a little bit there. 2 billion years, okay, now it can support some life.
Right.
Now, instead of having all these shitty chemicals in there, it's starting to get actual oxygen. We could terraform it, you know what I mean? But wouldn't do us any good in the long run, considering the sun's going to go red giant in 4 billion years.
Right.
And consume every inner planet. Right.
And who knows what we'll know about what's beyond.
But who knows where we're going to be, because
Right,
we're already finding so
exactly.
many exoplanets. A new thing came out just recently that shows who was it? A research team from Russia, and it's already been confirmed that one of the star systems we've been looking at that we thought had only like 2 or 3 gas giants around it has a multiple planet system of 9 planets, including rocky planets. And it's
funny.
very similar to our setup, which
Yeah.
is very rare to see the gas giants on the outside and the rocky planets on the in.
Okay.
Because usually that's not how it forms. In fact, our solar system didn't form that way. There's no way that Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune could have formed out where they are. They had to form close to the star and be ejected out to that orbit.
Yeah, I mean,
We found our first roaming planet not too long ago, too, in the last couple weeks.
My whole point, dude, is we don't. This is my whole point about science. Is that
Yeah.
I feel like they should, and whatever, NDG, same.
There's a gas giant that's roaming, doesn't have any star, it's just out there in space flying around, about twice the size of Jupiter that we just found.
We base what we know, what we think
Which we knew would
might
happen.
know about other shit on what we think we know about our solar system, as if everything else would be like this.
Yeah, and what we're finding is everything is not like this.
Exactly.
And our solar system is rare
So
in that
then,
respect.
how come science doesn't have a little more fucking humility? And instead of telling me like,
Well, the funny thing is,
with 4% of the information out of 100 that you know something for sure, why don't you say this is what we think we know? And if we had a little more humility about it, then we wouldn't have to feel like such dickheads when we were like, oh, remember when we said that this was this way? Yeah, I guess the universe is still expanding. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, by the way, Pluto's not a planet
Yeah,
anymore.
whoopsie-daisy.
Whoopsie!
Exactly. So, I mean...
Oh, and you thought there was 9 planets? Well, there's only 8 now, and now we're going to throw in some Plutoids, and there's about 6 more of those past Pluto. You know?
That's what I'm talking about. Just a little... We still have this... And that was my thing with NDT. Nothing really personal, but he will say we only know 4% of, but then go on to talk like he really knows
Well, the
some
funny
shit.
thing is,
And
there's
it's
another
like,
thing about our star.
Okay, maybe you know that, but at least say this is what we think we know based on the information we have.
We're right, and you know how things
Stating that
how
makes a difference
How we
to me.
say we know the
It's a
planets and
distinction.
stuff in our solar system, which we really don't, because if you look at it, our sun has a wobble
Right.
that not explained by the planets and stuff that we know there. Of course, our planets and everything put a little bit of a wobble on it, but there's more of a wobble than there should be.
Well, our planet wobbles.
Well, listen, there's more of a wobble in the main star than there should be. Like, there's almost something big,
Oh.
like a dwarf star, like a brown star, that isn't used with visible light, but can be seen through IR, orbiting around the Kuiper Belt. That's what they think. Now they're looking for that right now, too. Which is really weird, because you're like, wow, I would have never guessed that, because you can't fucking see it, Because a brown
That's another-
dwarf star doesn't emit visible light.
Well, dude, think about what we consider reality.
And that's just a dead star.
What we call reality, couple of dimensions.
Yeah, well,
And
we're
we
living in
assume-
literally 4 dimensions that we know of, but there is
Right.
13 out there proven
And
through
ma-
math.
and- right. So, like,
Minimum.
to say that
The only way the math works for everything is
what
with
we
13 dimensions.
experience is, and here's what modern science has done too, is said that if you have to be able to see it and verify it in some way, and then that is equivalent to science and reality, but it discounts that, like, we can't see infrared,
No,
we can't see other
but we
dimensions.
put images to it.
So to me, it's just egotistical
every-
to think that we know fucking reality.
Every
We
wavelength
don't know
from light
reality.
to sound to everything is all wavelength, and we just perceive it in different manners.
Yeah,
I mean,
Right.
infrared, ultrasonic,
but we're
all
not
of that
perceiving
is,
all that there
all of
is.
that, including sound, is technically light, which is
Maybe.
interesting.
Yeah,
Because
It's
we just
totally
perceive it
interesting.
as sound, even though these waves are a lot bigger and longer. They're sound to us because that's how our bodies made them.
Yeah, and that's a whole other talk about the,
That's a whole other
like,
thing,
the
right?
macrocosm of and paradox about existence and this place.
Well,
that
that's why we
live
have
is-
infrared telescopes, X-ray telescopes, visible light telescopes, all to look at the same thing, because we can't see what there is to see through the clouds. You know what I mean?
Well, and we keep learning that what we think we knew, we go, oh, we think we know this, and then we base assumptions on, like, oh, this is how things are, and then time goes on, some new technology.
Well, that's just like the atom. The atom.
Then we learn, like, oh,
Well, when we created the atom bomb, the atom was still just a theory. They thought it existed, and when Einstein and everything, they were like, it has to exist. Let's test it. Atom bomb. Boom. Okay, it does exist. We did it.
we can now destroy the Earth a
A bunch of this is
times
just
over.
pseudoscience. Don't be fascinated. Yeah, it's actually science though. That's the thing. It's not pseudoscience. I'm not going out there and saying that. Oh, hey guys. By the way, voodoo's real. That's pseudoscience.
Voodoo might be real, though, kids.
Voodoo could be real. Be careful, man, of those people with the dolls. No,
Shamans.
No, seriously,
use
what-
plants to see in other realities. if you
what we're
will.
talking
Other
about right now
dimensions.
is what we know of science, and what we know of science is a lot compared to what a lot of people who think they know anything is. Your definition seems a bit skewed. Yeah, okay, so talk with us. Tell us. What you're
You should
listening
read a
to
book
and what
on
you're
pse-
hearing.
You should read a book on pseudoscience. That's funny. That's funny. I'll do some hard science on pseudoscience and get back to you.
No, but seriously. So tell me about the waves again. If you're breaking it down to simplistic form about perception of sound versus light and all that, it's all waves. Light comes across in waves. Sound comes across in waves. Infrared is waves. Everything is waves. From microwaves all the way up to everything. I mean, it's all wave form. That's how it's taken across, and the whole universe itself is nothing but a giant ball of fucking light when you think of it that way. I'm dumbing it down to the simplistic form. That's exactly what it is at its dumbest trifecta level. But I understand.
It's interesting, though. As
No, not as something is bigger or smaller, but something as we perceive. Of course, the waves are different sizes. You can do that. You can test that just through sound itself. You can tell that what is it? Like a 10 hertz or a 20 hertz wave is actually like 35 feet long, but then a 20,000 hertz wave is like a millimeter long. You can tell the different sizes in the wavelengths.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all different stuff with that. What's going on, man? What's going on, Jason? But you know, if you know more than me, and you may in other topics, tell me, man, because I want to know the truth. I strive. You can't handle the truth.
The truth?
No, but I
Here's
seriously.
what's weird, though. Think about us as beings, and we have eyes, and we have ears, but apparently our eyes, the physical eyes, aren't what sees.
For God's sakes, there's a fucking a stupid little shrimp.
There's a
shrimp,
visual cortex.
a shrimp that can see 13 more visible spectrums of light than we can see.
The thing in your brain is what sees, though, not your eyes. Isn't that weird? That's weird.
Yeah,
That's
you
weird.
you might have caught at an interesting point. You know what I mean? What I meant by that is everything is developed in waveform. Therefore, light is a waveform that we pick up with our eyes, and sound is a waveform we pick up with our ears. Just because we pick it up with different senses doesn't mean that the waveforms aren't technically all across the same spectrum. Sound is off of the light spectrum when you look at it technically, because it's all off of a wave spectrum. So that's what I meant when I said that. If you caught it differently, yeah, to test the sound in sine waves, you can use a Doppler effect. Exactly, a train going towards you as compared to a train going past you and away from you. That is a huge Doppler effect. So yeah, that is a difference in the size of the waves and stuff like that. Sound isn't even necessarily a wave. It's yes and no. Sound can also be a pressure form. So that's on the human ear, though. In matter, you're right. It doesn't have to be. It is nothing but vibrations. But vibrations are also what is light, because they found that the photon is an actual particle now.
I think we're getting commandeered by that person
Yep, that's fine.
to be very specific about one thing, which is fine, but it's like,
We're talking very broad right now.
it's taxing.
Very
It's a
broad.
little taxing. We're just kicking it. We're just kind
Sit
of
down.
kicking
Get in
it.
camera. Get the fucking chair. You're on this, man.
What time is it?
Right there. It is 3:11.
3. Fuck me running.
Why?
I wanted to do some shit today.
Shit's overrated. Sound, color, temperature, all can be found within wavelengths. True. Grab the chair, man. It's the same chair as this one. Grab it. We'll get you in the cam. Bring it right over here. Sit close. Don't be afraid. Talk science. Here, just turn
me.
like this, and then
This.
scoot forward-ish. There you go.
This is awkward, America.
This is awkward. Welcome to the streaming house.
Hey, man, this is great.
This is my buddy Darren. Darren, I go to school with him. He's
Hey,
hey.
America. Again, how are you? Good. Me too. Thank you for asking.
Y'all can drag the conversation another direction if you want. I'll just sit here and listen. No, be proactive.
Yeah.
Don't be reactive.
What do you
Be
want to talk
proactive.
about? What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk science. I mean, we're watching Eve here. You know, we're sitting on a station just watching Eve.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot going on at this station right
breathtaking.
now. It's there's only 50
The,
some odd people in the system, 65.
The thing reminds me of the tool in Photoshop.
A little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit. It's XSplit, but it's got all different scenes and stuff like that. I set up every scene with a bunch of different things. Like this chat overlay is one thing, camera is one thing, and then the bezel is another on each one of the cameras. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then this is the screen capture area, you know, and stuff. But I mean, I set the different themes and stuff, and it'll pop up different things.
That's cool.
How about, he's thinking of a topic, cocaine, that shit, what I want to talk about. Woo! Bump! No,
Cocaine is really overrated.
quantum
and
physics.
terrible.
What do you want to talk about in quantum physics? Quantum particles, there's a lot in quantum physics. Do you want to talk about quantum particles
Waves?
and how
Particles?
they coincide with each other, or do you want to talk about like quantum computing? What do you want to talk about? Faster than light travel, practicalities versus physics violations. Ooh, that's a good one.
Interesting.
Faster than light travel is said to not be able to exist because once you reach the speed of light, technically time stops, but yet light travels, so I don't see how that can be possible. But
Yeah.
it's so-called proven in math through Einstein's theories.
Einstein.
But, I mean, there's always room for wrong. You know what I mean? Even though the
Yeah.
theories say that, and the funny thing about that is they've
It's
already
a
done that
theory,
with
dude.
atomic clocks.
Yeah.
They've left one on the ground and one up in space and flung it around the fucking planet a couple hundred times and brought it back down and noticed that the clocks were off. The thing about that is the faster you go, the slower time is. So technically, if you were to go, let's say 99% the speed of light, you would live to, let's say you live to 80 years old. Everybody on planet Earth, by the time you were 20, were already 80. If you're at 99% the speed of light. So that's pretty crazy. You
That's
would see
nuts.
time as your normal time, and they would
Right.
see time as their normal time,
Right.
but your two times
Would be different. Yeah.
Which is weird. So would you go like, would you technically be moving hyper slow at that speed, or would you be going your normal speed?
Well, it would be normal for whatever it
You
was.
were. Right.
Right.
So if you were on that spacecraft going 99% the speed of light, it would be normal for you.
it's relative.
Now, exactly, it's all relative, and that has to pull into the theory of relativity again. But that's all with perception. Technically, also, if you guys didn't know this, here's a fun fact for you: time is actually faster for you as you are younger.
I believe that.
The younger you are, the faster time goes by, and the older you are, the slower it goes by. So if you see people that are driving old people that are driving slow, and old people that just seem to be doing things slow, technically they still feel like they're doing it at their normal speed,
Yeah.
but they're actually observing a newborn. Time passes 2.5 times faster than a normal grown adult at around mid-30, 30 years old to 35. In your 20s, time passes at about 1.25 times as fast as compared to when you're in your 30s. When you're in your 60s, time passes at 0.75 as compared to the younger,
Weird.
which is interesting.
Did not know that.
And that's all across perception of the brain. That's how the brain perceives time. It's its own internal clocks perceiving time. Now, is that exactly
interesting.
right for everybody? No, but is it a good generalization? Actually, it is. Which is kind of weird. Because in that respect right there, you're seeing differences in the timeline.
So time is different for every one of us, literally.
Yes, and actually time has to do based upon gravity and based upon motion. So it's kind of interesting.
Time is
When you look
weird.
at it.
I mean, it's all
Time is
perception.
weird because
it's all
technically-
perception.
Technically, if you were in
In
the
a
middle
way.
of a void and no gravitational forces or anything, and you were stopped and nothing was going on, technically time wouldn't exist. Now, how the fuck can that be, right? Because stars are still burning. Shit's still going
Here's
on.
the thing, though. It's like there's a difference between what time might be and what we as humans cognize and call a thing time.
But are we only?
Do you know what I mean? There
are
wasn't
we,
always clock time.
Are we only?
Clock time didn't come
Right.
around until the 1500s.
Well, yeah, and before that it was seasonal time. But and I mean,
I mean, so
let's
time
say-
really is relative, though. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean,
time is relative.
From within
did
us
we
as
make
beings.
up time? Now that's a big theory right there. That's a big thinker. Did we make up time?
Yeah, in a way we did.
We had to have, right?
We made up clock time. That's a form of time.
We found a way to perfectly scrutinize and break time down so it's equal upon everything. In fact, every day, though, the Geneva clocks have to reset by a 0.001 second.
Yeah, it's a apparently.
But seriously, did we make up time?
Clock time originally was invented to navigate
Yep.
at sea.
Yeah, which is another funny thing, because if you're off, let's say you're going, this is just a side fact, and we'll go back to time.
Side note.
Side note, if you're traveling and you go off course of your navigation by 1 degree, over 100 miles, you'll be 11 miles off
Oh,
course.
right. That makes sense.
Sorry, that's just a navigational
Yeah.
thing from the Navy
Yeah.
I picked up.
No, that's cool.
Anyways,
Makes
back
sense.
to time.
Yeah,
So time,
we've got time.
we've got time to talk about time.
Fucking
Time,
A, man.
fuck time. Anyway, F and A,
Yeah.
Cotton. F and A. No. But seriously though, I would love faster than light travel. It's
Yeah.
theorized that it can't exist because you can't go faster than the speed of light. But who said that the speed of light is technically the
As
barrier?
fast as you. Right.
Because if light particles are actually moving, it can't be the fastest thing out there, because if it was, then it wouldn't technically exist as a motion. You know what I mean? Because light moves. It takes 8 minutes for the light to get from the
Right.
sun to
right,
us, right?
Right. Sure.
Welcome to ESPN 8, the Ocho, where we talk about time. No, so time, it has to move. The particles have to move. They come out of the. It takes thousands of years for the light photons to actually get out of the center of the sun, get to the corona, and move. But anyways, that all has to do with the gravitational forces and density of the sun. But light has to move. and it can't. I don't think it can be the constant. I mean, they say it is, but what if it was only 10 miles per hour over the speed of light? That was the
Right.
barrier.
What would that be called? Speed of light plus 10?
Probably, actually,
something-
probably. Oh, we got some shit going on over here in this system. People are coming out.
Whoa.
Whoa, now, whoa! Anyway, but like, seriously.
Why do y'all know about
What do y'all know about Planck's constant?
You talking about Planck's as far
Max
as
Planck.
time?
Max Planck.
No. Planck's as far as a measurement of time. Is that what you mean? Where it's like
Here's a better question.
0.001 of a millisecond or
something-
something like that.
Here's something that's not more interesting,
'Cause that's
but
Planck
interesting.
time.
There's
I
a
know
guy.
that.
There's a guy out there. He's a scientist. His name is Rupert Sheldrake, and he wrote a book. And he's on YouTube. He talks shit about it. He's a scientist.
Planck's constant is a number. I've heard it before, but to be honest, I cannot remember it.
Rupert Sheldrake talks about all the constants, including gravity, and the speed of light. And he says that they're not actually. He says that us assuming that all those constants are the same is fucking up our ability to actually do what we say, what we call science, because
I can believe that.
because they're not actually constant.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Because at some point, like he went to this guy who had all these manuals.
well, physics doesn't have to be physics in another
For,
dimension.
say, speed
You know
of
what I
light.
mean? Physics can't. Let's say
And he said, we measured the speed of light or sound or whatever it was, and people around the world had different, they were slightly different and slightly different over time. So, at some point, we defined it, which is the opposite of science.
that's true.
You know what I'm saying? And that's true. And so,
Yeah.
and it's similar with gravity. Check out Rupert Sheldrake. It's all. I mean, he's on YouTube. The book has something to do with where he questions all the what we call constants of science, and is our underpinning. And I just think it's really interesting. But constants, you know, they're kind of relative too. I guess you
They
know.
kinda- but they kinda can't
but
be
did
because
we,
otherwise the math doesn't work.
Right? Did we construct constants to say we have this bedrock to stand on to do our science? And if they're not constant, would we have to admit maybe we're not so sure
then all
what the
math
hell's
would be
going on?
wrong. If all the math was wrong, then anything could
Maybe
technically be
it's
possible.
not just right or wrong. Maybe it's right, but it's varying degrees.
Mars and Nock don't fight. You guys can troll. I don't care. From Ed and Eddie, it was a funny comment. I laughed a little inside. No, but I mean,
I
are
have
you
no
really-
idea what's going on. You
To
folks
be
in
honest,
your
though,
your inside
Strella,
internet,
what is the
Your-
Planck constant? Because I
inside internet
I
joke.
can't remember for the life of me right now, and I don't feel like googling it, especially since we're having a conversation. But I know what Planck time is, and I know Planck time being measured as like 1/1,000,000th of a millisecond or some bullshit like that. But that's how they define the earliest of the Big Bang. You know, in Planck time, this is what happened. You know, antimatter and matter combining, decombining, and then
Okay.
matter won out, blah, 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 which is kind of interesting because when the Big Bang happened, supposedly matter and antimatter were an equal amount of created. An equal amount of matter and an equal amount of antimatter were created, and they're supposed to technically cancel each other out. But matter actually wins out over antimatter by 0.001 shit left, which is weird, so therefore we have matter. 6.6 times 10 to the negative 34. Interesting.
Okay.
And that's the constant speed, huh?
He's still here, right, Streck? Let me look down in the
I
list.
have no idea.
I can tell you right now. Yeah, he's still here. Okay. Or Strello. I said Streck. Strello.
Strelo Kmenchny.
Oh yeah, sorry, AFK. Strello Mech. He's got my last name in his name, Mech. That's awesome.
Kenny. That's great. I love that name. Strello, you're my new favorite.
Faves. Wow, look at that.
But yeah, we have actually gained 15 viewers by just talking.
Interesting.
That's why I unmuted the mic.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, I mean, I do. Since I sat down, yeah.
Yeah,
But I
since
mean-
you sat down.
and said, yeah, people are talking or listening. See, I'm not that well versed in the science. I have some familiarity with the hard science. I'm more interested in all kinds of shit. Philosophy.
I love philosophy. else.
as well, and science too. I mean, all of it. You know, like not just one thing at the expense of all this other shit, but like I want as much as I can get.
I'm all about universal science as far as space and shit like that. That's
so
my
like
main...
matter and antimatter, the time of the Big Bang. What's interesting? The most interesting thing to me about the Big Bang might be like
Literally the last comment.
Kevin Mack.
No, the one below that. Hey, Talon, thanks for making my head hurt. Haha. What is dark matter? Dark matter is...
It's something that we don't know what it is, so we call it dark matter.
No, we've actually observed it.
We don't know what it is. We
It
call
is the
it dark
exact
matter.
opposite of matter. Matter is
It's 96% that we don't know what it is.
Stop with your 4%. Matter is a proton and in the middle and an electron on the outside. Antimatter is an electron in the middle with protons rotating around the outside. Now, technically, if you were to look at... If let's say I was made of normal matter and he was made of antimatter, we would look exactly the same. Nothing would be different. But if we were to touch each other, boom, big
Whoa,
fucking explosion.
what the fuck?
Everything would be boom and gone.
Wow.
And it would release I think of it, a gram of antimatter and a gram of matter, once touched together, release 100 times more energy than the Hiroshima bomb.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
That's crazy.
It takes so long for us to harvest and make antimatter that it is completely unfeasible to even harvest a gram.
Okay. We think.
Who's
We
the homeless
think.
guy? No, he's not homeless. He's my buddy. Who's
Who's
the
the
hair?
homeless guy? Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
what a name. What a name that guy's got, too. DDoS ahead. Great. I feel safe. No, but, yeah, that's what antimatter is. Now, if you want to talk about something really crazy that a lot of people don't know a lot about, yeah, it's antiprotons, antineutrons, and positrons, which is technically the exact opposite of what normal matter is. When you take an electron, put it in the middle, it's called an antiproton.
There's a cat coming in.
Yeah, there's a cat.
Hey, kitty.
You're not afraid of cats, huh?
I love cats.
Good. This cat's crazy. He sits on the back here
Oh,
a
cool.
lot.
I like
Like I moved in first day stream, he's on the back the whole time.
Sweet. What's his name?
This is Rusty,
Rusty.
and he's a crazy son of a bitch.
Dude, the cat I was taking care of, his name is Rusty.
Oh, he's a crazy guy.
Rusty, look at you. Rusty that I know is really old. This guy's young.
He's 3 years old.
The Big Bang, though? What? Okay. Nothing to everything? There had to be something.
Well,
And if there's nothing, how can it make a Big Bang that creates everything?
here's the thing though. They don't
Science.
science.
Checkmate!
One of
Just
the
kidding.
theories I really like about that is somehow
Checkmate, homeless
somehow-
guy. I'm dumpster diving after this. DDoS, whoever.
No, one of the cool theories that I think
I'm
about
not
the Big
hungry
Bang-
because I just had some, Mr. China in the.
Yeah, you were digging out back. I saw you. No, one of the cool theories that I like about the Big Bang, and I think could be very feasible, is the melding of two different planes touching, and that was the Big Bang. When these two planes touched, all of a sudden everything.
But that was something then.
something, and it had
Right.
to happen somehow.
See, because they say the science guys say some of them say nothing. There was nothing, and then the Big Bang. But there's
And
had to
exactly, a singularity can't be big nor small, but it still exists. But
Right.
it depends on the singularity you're
So
talking about. If
there's
you're talking about the
something.
singularity of the Big Bang, or are you talking about a singularity, aka a black hole? Those are two different things.
And what do we think? But don't we think that we used to think we knew what black holes were, but now didn't
No, we used to think black holes were fallacy, and then everybody in Star Trek's like, no, they kind of got to exist, and then like they went. And
But I thought what they
researching, wow,
actually
they are.
were, they're not what we thought they were.
Black holes are nothing but a immense
Vortex.
No, it's just it's a dead star that went hypernova. Hypernova stars create black holes, and what happens is it's an infinite well of gravity, and that's all it is. It's so much matter, so dense, so compact that it becomes an infinite well of matter. Now,
Jeez.
black holes can be different sizes, as in the supermassive black holes in the center of galaxies, which are found to be in most galaxies. Thinking of it this way, even with the infinite amount of universe, the fusion molecules and atoms, there would be many copies of everything because there's so many ways atoms can be put together. Yeah, but true, crucifix, but then you're also starting to talk quantum, that where one molecule across the universe talks to the other. Anyway, and black holes do start swallowing each other, but...
Look at this guy, faceplant tuck. Play the damn game.
Play the damn game. Sorry, man, we just have it up in the background, and literally we just started talking philosophy and science and stuff, and I thought we'd bring it over here and put it on stream.
Yeah.
Black holes are different
Sorry,
sizes.
brosies.
Like I said, supermassive black holes and stuff like that. And how they are formed exactly as the same way, hypernovas and stuff like that. But if two black holes combine, do two black holes make one bigger black hole? Or does one big black hole swallow the other? Because technically
Right.
information
Yeah, I don't know.
cannot be destroyed. So therefore, the sides of the black hole has
It
to
exists
expand.
in some form.
Well, it has to expand to accommodate all the information that was there and there stored on that information disk, aka the matter. Because information can't be destroyed, so therefore the surface area of that has to hold all that information.
But how do we know that? That
Math.
information. Yeah, but fucking math, dude. Math is math. Math is a.
Math is one of the
Math
only
is
universal
something-
constants. Think about it this way.
It's
If
like
you-
it's like man saying God created
you
us
remember
in
that
His
movie-
image, and it's more likely that we created God in our image.
Well,
than
yeah,
the other way
of
around.
course that's what we did. But anyways,
Well, right, but I'm just saying,
You've
math
seen the
is
movie
something
Contact?
yeah. long
you
time
remember the
ago.
movie Contact and how
I
they
don't know
talk
how
through
well I
math,
remember it.
where it's deep. You know, it was.
I don't know if it's a universal constant though.
But look, if you were to take
This universe,
If you were to take
Maybe.
this, and you were to take this, and you were to put them together, you would have 2. Well, 1 and 1 equals 2, right?
maybe,
That is a relative.
but it's all
constant.
within one. Say I'm one being, but I'm made up of trillions of organisms.
But that doesn't matter. If
Same
I'm
with
going to
the
talk to
planet.
another
It's
species,
one planet. It's made up of a bunch of different things.
if I'm going to talk to an alien species, the first thing
The
I'm going
one,
to go
the
to
many.
is math, because math is going to be
The
our
ancient
universal
Egyptians knew
words. Our math isn't complete, not by a long shot.
You know the fucking ancient Egyptians did math in binary.
Yeah.
Fucking binary, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They
Binary
were-
is actually really, really easy to understand.
It's easier than multiplication tables.
It is.
I know.
Binary is super easy, but nobody ever teaches it until you get to like college and shit. And literally, it took 20 minutes and I knew binary. I was like, really? Come on, this was the big fucking secret? You know?
Yeah, apparently.
But think about it though, math.
Ancient Egyptians
Math
and
would be the universal
programmers.
constant to talk to any different type of alien species or anything like that because it's the only thing that we could relate to. Language. What if they don't speak language? What if we can't communicate with
Well,
the
then
language
that's like
except
that's like
for
the
math?
Columbus thing. They don't have a language. Well, they do. You just don't know it. You know, it would just be something that you didn't
Yeah,
know.
but what if they don't speak a vocal language? What if it's not something we can pick
Did
up?
you know the dude who wrote Ender's Game?
Yeah.
You know what his fucking thing in the book is? Is that they don't speak; they have hive mind.
Yeah,
So
well,
they
that
don't
could be
use words.
too.
So that's kind of
The
interesting.
Borg.
So, but
Yeah.
that's a language, though. We just wouldn't. It wouldn't be something that we were aware of. Do you want a mint?
Yeah, sure.
Get in there.
What if two dark holes collided, says Crucifix? The first thing, they would merge together to form one, much more massive black hole. The second is, due to the spin, the two black holes could interact and recoil from each other, sending one hurtling away.
Well, that's true if they were not caught into the plane. If they were caught in a plane, then they're gonna do something together. Have you seen the picture of a star? There's this new picture of a star that came out just recently. They observed going into a black hole, and it hit right around the corona edge, and literally the star just went poof,
Wow.
into nothing but gas and dust, and is being sucked back in.
Wow.
I was like, that is awesome.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
That is freaking cool. Like, that black hole ripped that fucker apart in one little hit, one little instance, and all of a sudden the thing was just gas.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
And you're like, wow. And we're still burning away, you know? Burning away gas.
And we're sitting around
It's
talking
so hot.
about jobs.
Yeah.
Fucking jerk offs. You gotta have jobs. Push some papers.
Exactly.
Pull some levers for nickels.
Fucking ridiculous.
Stupid. Anyway.
Where do we go when Earth is dying and we probably can't turn it around? Well,
Look
hopefully
within.
Earth doesn't die for another couple thousand years at least. And I say at least because technically we should have another 4 billion years on this fucking planet.
If we weren't total idiots.
So let's say in the next couple thousand years something doesn't happen catastrophic, you know, and we're able to finally get out and travel the stars whatever way we can. Personally, I think finding a way to send quantum information is a way to travel amongst the stars, because that's just like teleporting. Because this molecule over here and this molecule over here coexist in the same existence, are the same molecule, and they send quantum information to each other. If we can find a way to tap that and actually send
Is that like the
objects
weird
through?
entanglement you're
Yeah,
talking
that's
about?
quantum entanglement.
Spooky entanglement.
It's spooky, crazy shit, right?
Spooky.
But I mean, that would be the way to travel. But let's say we find a different place to go and we find a different planet, then we just colonize that place. But it would have to be a place that only has like vegetation or basic animals. Like, even
Right,
then, though,
right.
I would feel like horrible trying to colonize a planet that has animals and one was like
Yeah.
coming as the top species, like ancient humans did. What if somebody did that to us back in the day? We wouldn't be here. And
Right.
they're like, hey, fucking hunt those skin apes. You
Right.
know?
yeah. Or those skin apes are getting in our way.
Man, those fucking garbage pickers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Totally, man. Fuck.
Those, those skin apes. Humans are skin apes. I love it. Those fucking skin apes. I tell you, man. They're eating all our food, taking all our jobs. No.
yeah.
No, but seriously, I think colonizing another planet or terraforming a planet would be the way to go. Star Trek 3, is it?
I don't know.
Well, which one is the one?
I haven't seen any of
Wrath
the
of Khan
Star
would be at.
the
Yeah, Wrath of Khan.
old
Wrath of
school
Khan.
ones?
Yeah,
I
Wrath
saw
of Khan
those.
would be the one where they're terraforming the planet with the Genesis probe.
Ricardo Montalban.
Yes. But I seriously think terraforming would be a way to go.
We'll have to take that as a comment because I'm not sure what that is.
I know, right? I don't understand half the shit they say. Take care, Strelk. Strelok
Strelak
Mekanye. I can't say your name, but I love it.
Strelak Mekanye. It's like Russian.
It's not Russian. That's more like Romanian.
It
Ukrainian.
ends up sounding right. It ends up sounding sort of like.
Hey, what's up, Combat Cody? We're just talking physics
shiz.
and stuff and deep thoughts by
Bring
Jack
back
Handy.
the small box blankets. What's up, dude?
Knock. What the hell?
What's up? What the fuck? Smallpox blankets.
We seriously have 28 viewers right now. When I turned the mic back on, we only had 8 viewers because they were like, "I'm not watching Eve. It's boring." We're sitting here just talking, chilling. They're all like, "Yeah, I'm watching this."
Cool. What's up? That's cool.
That's how we colonize. I don't agree with it. Yeah, but you know what? I wouldn't say that we should go and colonize another planet and just
Yeah.
take it over if there is any type of life that's not just vegetation or something there. If it was just like a planet that had nothing but like trees and plants and bullshit, then I would say, yeah, okay, all fair game, right? Because it's way far away from anything worth a damn. You know, maybe they got some fish, you know?
Yeah. I don't know what would we do.
Where would we draw the line?
Yeah, that's the thing. And then no matter what it was like, if it was our ass or a new planet, I'm thinking we're gonna say fuck it. We're gonna take the new planet.
Yeah, no shit,
I mean, That's
right?
what we do.
Well, that's kind of like that. Remember that show Earth?
That might
2?
be
Do you
biological.
ever remember that show Earth 2? They went to another planet, and the hope was to colonize the planet, and there was already like beings there and shit that were like terrorizing them, and then they were cut off from Earth. And they weren't technically terrorizing; them, they were the indigenous beings, and they just looked like Skeletor
It
things.
sounds interesting.
It was crazy,
It sounds interesting.
but I mean, I still think our story, man. Oof.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Maybe let's do something on that. We should. What time is it?
It's 3:30.
Oh, that's not terrible.
You got a clock right there too.
Okay. I gotta run some errands, and then I gotta go back and feed the dog around 6. So
What you doing after that?
I don't know. I was gonna maybe watch a movie or something. Although I don't know. Depends. There's this girl.
Oh.
I'm working on it. So I don't know. I was gonna maybe call her.
Working on it. And this is what you're worried about with all this shit we're talking about? No.
No, I'm not worried about anything. Well, I'm worried about.
Oh, look at him and his girl. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I take her to only the finest restaurant dumpsters. I go to like Chives, Salt, like Blue, like nice restaurants around town, and their fucking dumpsters are top drawer.
Yeah,
So-
well, yeah. I mean, think about what people aren't eating on their plates.
Right?
You know?
It's the shit. I had some great foie gras last night, and
At least I think it was.
yeah, it might have been cat shit, but I don't. It tasted kind of salty, so I'm gonna say it wasn't cat shit.
Well, that's the thing. If we met other life forms, who knows? The way to fucking drop the bass on everyone. Who knows that they would be just as unpredictable as we are? How do we know that?
They would be.
I mean, there is...
Or more.
Actually, I mean, if you're a species that is a top tier species, let's say you're a type 1 civilization, type 2 or type 3, you got to have some level of moving up there to master that shit.
Think about us, though. If we consider ourselves a top tier species, but we're dropped on a planet and you just got your skin and your claws, you're fucked. If you don't have the magic guns or, what are you going to do?
Yeah, true. But I mean,
if I was dropped on
everybody
this...
talks about alien species and they talk about how, if we met them, they'd be so much more advanced than us. Well, how come we don't meet a species that's in the Stone Age? How come we don't go to a planet
Right.
and there's just bugs?
Right.
We don't
We
go to
could.
a planet and
That's
there's just
what- see,
microbes.
that's what-
Or we go to a planet and these fuckers are so far advanced than us, they're nothing but energy.
That's my whole thing. Again, like, we take on these fucking ideas as if, like, automatically other life forms would be at least as advanced or more advanced than us. Well, it depends. If they contact us, obviously would they have some level of technology. But if we find them, they could be at a point where who knows where that planet
And then do we do the Star Trek
Is-
Prime Directive with no interference type thing?
Right, yeah.
Where, we know they're there, but we're not going to talk to them because they're not up to our level yet. And where do we count? Where do we stop and think?
Or do we say,
where
God,
is the
their
level?
planet is sweet. Let's just go get in on that, and we'll bring them up to speed.
Yeah. When do we just share technology? And be like, yo, dude, this is how we're doing shit. You want some?
Yeah. Yeah. Or this is how we did shit. Don't do it this way, and your planet will survive.
Never thought of that.
You know what I mean? Here's
Yeah.
our mistakes. Grow some industrial hemp, and you can, like, you don't have to walk 30 miles every day for water.
Yeah.
We can, like, find the water and bring it up and pump it out, and don't get big wastewater treatment facilities and pump them full of chemicals. Let the fucking roots of the plants and the ground clean your water, and don't put bad shit in the first place. It'll be cleaner to begin with. Help them that way.
That's an interesting
I feel like that makes more sense.
topic.
Like, take our fuck ups and say, like, here's how we fucked up. Don't do this. We know this doesn't work. Okay, don't go there.
Yeah, or we stumble upon a planet that had a civilization and they did what we ultimately may someday do and nuke, destroy it.
I think we're in the process of doing it.
I don't think we're going to get that far.
Think about this though.
You know why?
It's always like, what if it's the next world war and someone drops nukes? What about this? What if it's just the next fucking tsunami? What if it's an ecological disaster that fucks up nuclear power plants?
Well, I'm just waiting.
And now you've got meltdowns right there, in all these communities across the globe, possibly.
Yeah.
And that's not a war. But guess what? We're fucked.
Seriously, I think our biggest concern at this point would be
What's up,
an outside
Bucky?
force happening to us, like a meteor or something like that, like the dinosaurs that had encountered. To be honest, I think that's our biggest worry right now, and we're not doing enough to.
I think it'd be
Think
cool
of
if it
systems to
was
prevent
an asteroid that had life on it hurtling through and it was like dinosaurs on an asteroid hitting our planet would be awesome.
They're like, take that, humans. What? No. We're having wings tonight. No.
Oh, humans, they taste like chicken.
Oh my god. No, pork. We taste like pork. Anyway,
They taste like alligator.
alligator's delicious.
I've never had it. I heard it
What?
tastes like chicken.
It's delicious. It's got a little more of a...
Greasy? Or
No, not greasy at all.
Chewy?
Chewy. It's got a little
Okay.
bit of a more chewiness to it, a little bit like chicken, but a little bit like frog legs almost,
Okay. That makes sense.
And
That makes
it's
sense.
really, really flavorful and really good.
Wow.
But like I said, I prefer, for cooking and stuff like chili and everything, I prefer buffalo.
Buffalo. I've had buffalo when I was out in Montana.
Buffalo meat is amazing.
Yeah. It's way better for you.
Oh, it's so lean. It's only like 2%.
And if they're doing it right, it's pasture, it's grazed. So it's raised on grass.
They're like, Talon, turn off even making just the cam. You don't want to just look at us, Cody.
No.
People don't want to just look at us. They want to see
Whoever-
something else besides us.
Whoever you are, Cody.
He's another streamer, actually.
The Mars.
Oh, wait, that's Combat Coney. Never mind.
Unless you're including the Pythagoras, who knew the central fire or sun was the center of the planets. And around Pythagoras was the shit. Okay, I will say Pythagoras was the shit.
Well, then you got to talk about Galileo, too, who knew a lot more but was condemned by fucking religion.
He became way after, though. Pythagoras laid down some
Right.
shit.
I mean, but a lot of
But
people
apparently
laid down some shit.
Pythagoras...
Look at the fucking Aztecs. They laid down some shit.
Apparently, Pythagoras learned his shit at the mystery schools in Egypt. Boom! Ancient Egypt. And
Slamma-jamma
and
wing
maybe
wong.
the fucking... I don't know. Where the ancient Egyptians got their shit. Where did they get their shit?
Well, here's the funny thing. Everybody's
I
like, how did the ancients, how could they figure out all this stuff about the stars? And my first instinct to say to people is, number one, they didn't have TV, radio, technology, anything. What the fuck do you do in the middle of the night except stare up? You know what I mean? You have plenty of time to observe everything else when
That's
you've
what
got
you do.
nothing going on.
That's what you do, man. I read
And when you have a civilization like the Aztecs and
Mayans.
like the Mayans and
the
like
Toltec
ancient
even,
Rome,
yeah,
where you
yeah.
can start bringing goods in, and people have time to sit around and be a philosopher and sit on their ass and do nothing, you can think about those
You
things
have time to
all
think.
the time.
That's what affording yourself right. We did,
Aliens.
That's what agriculture gets you. Is or not we've fucked up agriculture, but I mean that allows you to not spend all of your time getting food and water. Right? So it gets you what we would call leisure time.
Yeah.
And why
It gives me time to do this for you guys.
like in this country, what we should be doing is we're shitty at using technology. We'll take fucking technology, put it in a manufacturing plant, and kill thousands of jobs. And now it's not like those people don't have to work. They got to go find some job. Except there's not jobs that pay like the last job, right? So like, why don't we take technology and like use it so like now we have to work less.
It's just,
We can
yeah.
think more. We can spend time doing what
But
we
here's
want.
the problem: nobody gets paid to think.
Well, we wouldn't need money like we need it.
Personally, I wish we would go the Star Trek route and not have to worry about money. Period.
We don't have to.
We don't have to, but that's
We
the
don't have
driving
to.
force. That's the problem. Too many people.
Douglas
are too fucking greedy.
Rushkoff. Douglas
If everything
Rushkoff,
was free,
great
right
book,
now.
Life Inc.
But look,
Check it
if
out.
everything was free, everybody would want every ridiculous, amazing good. You know what I mean? Like I would have a.
I don't think so.
I would have a quad.
Not
tank
in a few
computer.
generations without advertising.
And without advertising, I think.
Without
you're right.
advertising and propaganda, we wouldn't. Because what does advertising tell you? You're not fucking good enough the way you are.
Yeah, and that's what
You
everything.
need this thing. But you don't just need it once. You need it forever. Right?
Yeah.
And if we make products good enough to last, you wouldn't keep buying them because you wouldn't need them. So then our economy is totally backwards. We overproduce shit so people have to keep buying it. But that just fucks up the ecosystem. You know? We should make stuff based on need. And some desire. I'm not saying,
Well,
we
if
don't have
did
to
it-
get
if we
rid
did
of
it
good
just
technology.
on need only.
Not just on need.
But I mean, things
let's
would be
start there.
Things would be a little overpriced.
Not really.
Again, though, that comes back to the do we really fucking need money? Oh, excuse
No,
me.
right. Because people say money makes the world go round. I say bullshit. The fucker spins at an axis in the middle of space, apparently. I mean, that's what they keep telling me. It's hard for me to believe that really? And I live on that fucker? No way. Doesn't feel like that every day.
But no, I think some
It's hard to-
certain,
it's
certain
hard to
services
comprehend.
should definitely be free. And I think power, water, housing, everybody should have. I'm not saying an equal.
It's hard to
size
have
house.
that conversation without really a lot of context about
Yeah.
what money is.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is. There's a really good documentary. It's a few years old. It's called Money Fix. And there's alternative currencies. I mean,
Crucifix. I would say if you grow something and trade it for something else that somebody else grows or whatever, you end up back on the same exact cycle that we are now with money.
You could, but not necessarily, because maybe this guy grows something and trades it for not something that someone else grows, but maybe they make it, or maybe they write poetry, or maybe they
But here's the problem. This is where
fix
the thing,
cars. I mean,
this is
so
where the
you can
thing came
trade because money is just a fucking a way to be more efficient about moving stuff
it's
around.
efficient trading.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. It's a recognized means of exchange. Literally, is what it is. So yeah, I mean, once we have what we want or what we think we want, and I mean, if you have people around you that love you and you love them, I don't really think we need that much more.
We don't need a whole lot, but
I mean, I've
would
lived with
technology,
nothing, dude,
Would
and
technology still push forward the way it is without money?
Yeah, it would just be different. It wouldn't, because technology pushes forward based on making money.
Yeah, but you got to have.
You see,
Unfortunately,
don't mistake money as the impetus.
Yeah, but you gotta.
It's-
You'd
I don't-
have to love what you do in order to keep doing that. If there was no money,
You would though, because
and that's the
because
thing.
then
I
it
would think that would be amazing in one respect, but horrible in another.
No, people-
And I don't think technology would push forward the way it is if you had that.
I think it would be better, because it would
Really?
push forward in ways that make sense for us and the planet.
That makes sense, but I mean, would you have? I mean, mind you, this isn't.
It would just be all I'm saying.
Would you have a peon working in a factory stamping out this same fucking product 24 fucking 7?
No,
Then how would you get the product?
what I would think
I
is,
love making iPhones. I do it all the goddamn time.
Okay. Here's the thing. How many iPhones would possibly be needed? Right? This is what I'm saying, where if money drives it and if it's profit driven, it's not based on anything other than profit. So let's make as many of these things as we can, as cheap as we can, except we don't take into account, you know, what it means to take these fucking precious metals out of the ground, have little brown hands in some other country fucking put them together and get exposed to that shit for nothing. What are those costs? And then how many do we actually need? And do we make them like to last for 50 fucking years? No, we make them to last for 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah, if we actually did make something to last, you know,
So-
if we used to produce like we did in the 30s, 40s, you know, where something would last the test of time.
Like the idea is,
Then we would be
whatever
better
we
off.
think we might need. So any kind of manufacturing would be malleable and adjustable. So I'm not going to build a plant to make cars. I'm going to build a plant that can make 7 different kinds of things. And maybe for this period, oh, we need some cars? Okay, we'll reboot. We'll make cars now.
Okay, but who are you going to hire to?
Well,
there?
I mean,
And how are they gonna work there?
I
How
mean,
you gonna
people
hire
can
them
be
without money?
cross-trained.
How you
and
gonna
then
hire them without money?
People can be
Are
cross-trained.
they going to love what they do?
Maybe.
Are they still going to work
Maybe.
there? Would they work without money?
If we didn't need money,
or if we used food?
if we didn't need money, it wouldn't matter. Like if it's just like, oh, you like to make stuff, you like to do machining, you would do that, and then it would just be like, it would look totally different. So it's hard to imagine, only knowing this one system, how the other system would be.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying, and I'm not claiming to have any fucking answers. I just know that what we've been doing feels like shit for me. And I feel like it sucks for a lot of people because you have to do shit you wouldn't necessarily do other than you got to make money.
Right, and it would be a hobby you do to pass the time, but I mean, where does your hobby stop and a job start, I guess?
Yeah. I mean, I
don't think technology would push forward or keep advancing.
because I'm not motivated by money. It's hard. I mean, that's why I feel fucked up a lot.
I do this, like what we're doing right now, broadcasting, I do this because it's fun as shit. And I have
Yeah.
a blast doing it.
Yeah.
Making
I could do
money,
that. I mean, this is fun.
It's really hard right now, and I'm in a really hard spot, and I have been since I've been doing this. But you know what? It's not my prime motivator.
Yeah. But you probably feel better. Other than sometimes you probably freak out like...
I freak out because I don't have any fucking money because I need
Right.
to pay stupid bills that they
Right.
make me
And
pay.
you have kids.
Yeah.
And that's different. I don't have responsibilities like that right now. So that's totally different, you know?
See? And that's where money comes in.
Right. But it's only because we've made it that way. I mean, that's the thing, is like we do things, you know, a certain way for generations, and then all of a sudden the knowledge that we had 4 generations ago is like it never existed. You know, it doesn't take long, so we just assume like, oh, this is what you do
if you
because
did
it's
have
what
money,
you
would
do.
there be any janitors?
It depends how we structured in other ways. There might be. You know, it's like the ancient in one of the, I don't know which philosopher, ancient Greece, the system of democracy was every single person served in the government like the way we get called for jury duty. Everybody is going to be a representative.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So there's no fucking...
Get off of there.
There's no voting. It's like some sort of lottery system. And maybe you have to be a certain age. But, so then if you think about it, it's just like, well, I don't know about that, but not in our system, because we, you know, in that system, if you know every single fucking person around you that you see is going to be a representative at some point,
We treat people a lot different.
you'd treat people differently. You'd want to make damn sure everybody got some education.
Yeah.
Right? You know that little kid down there with nothing, but you wouldn't walk by him and fucking kick him. You'd be like, "Do you have enough to eat, little guy?
Yeah.
Let's get you some food and a place to sleep and some education." You know, it's just that kind of shit. I go, "Holy shit. Why do we keep doing what we're doing?" And, you know, I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like a lot of it has to do with a small amount of people
Old people in office.
have been doing this. I mean, I think maybe for generations, maybe for thousands of years, these same types of people at the top, what I would call elites, you know. Oh, I didn't know if he was on your thing.
No.
It's the same thing, you know. It's like the monarchs of the days of old. Like, we thought he was good, but
What the hell, cat?
Rusty, what's up?
Damn, he's just being crazy.
Rusty. It's funny, dude. My friend's cat's name is Rusty, and he's an orange. He's all orange though, and he's old, and he just squawks all the time, man.
Oh, jeez.
He's cool though. I love him. But yeah, I don't know. Money. Broadcaster dashboard.
A mid-fall broadcast. Because we are animals in instinct with... instinct one with power lead us. Yeah. It's true.
Because we're animals in instinct. One with power lead us. I don't know what that means.
We're animals and it's all instinct, and the person who holds the power leads us, and that's it. We're fucking cheap.
I don't think that's true.
I don't
You know,
feel
like
I'm cheap.
everyone takes, you know what? Everyone takes Charles Darwin, The Origin of Species, as if they commandeered one little part of what he said about competition, as if that was his underlying thesis, and it wasn't. That was one part of it, and then most of what he was saying is in the animal kingdom, there's a lot of cooperation
Yeah.
with all these different species. But the people that I would call the modern day elites who want to have a pyramid structure with a few at the top, say a 1% with all the money and all the resources, and other people doing all the fucking menial shit and not really being educated or having fulfilled lives, do for them, took that one part about competition and have been using it ever since to pit people against each other and to get us to do shit that we wouldn't normally do. Other than, I mean, think about how we're biologically evolved to probably like, 8,000 years ago or something. I think the paleo diet, in a way, touches on some of how, like, we are still biologically evolved to that point of, like, maybe 8,000 years ago. And I don't think, I just lost what I was talking about. Totally.
Predator prey equals cooperation, somebody says. Yeah, it does, actually.
It actually is.
It's nothing but cooperation.
Yeah. Nature has no garbage either. There's literally no waste.
Yeah, that's true. No waste until we came around.
No waste. Natural, everything, something dies, it goes into the ground and it's makes something else.
So
Something
that's
grows.
like that's like freaking Louis C.K. when he talks. He's like, "What if God came back?" And he's like, he came back. And he's like, "What is all this shit? What why are the polar bears brown? Did somebody shit on the polar bears? What's going on here? What is this? Well, that's oil, man. That's oil. Why is there oil on the polar bears?
I've seen that bit, actually. Yeah.
Heat, man, and I want to
Yeah.
go fast. I want to go, you know.
Yeah.
and he's
We
like,
wanted to go fast.
I want to go fast. He's like, what are you talking about? You know, man, we're like jobs and shit. I need money, so
Fucking
you know.
jobs?
What is money? What is this money? What is a job? You know?
Yeah.
Well, we get to buy food and shit, man. You know? He's like, food. I just eat this shit on the floor. I put like corn everywhere and shit. You know? Like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, I want to go fast, man. Go fast. What are you talking about? You know?
Yeah.
That was a great skit. You
Yeah,
know?
that was.
Oh
That
my
guy's
god.
hilarious. I just kind of found some of his shit. He's funny, man.
It's not that nature doesn't have flaws. Nature has flaws.
I don't know if it does.
Cancer. That would be a nature flaw, I would say.
I wouldn't say that that's nature.
But you got to look at species as a whole. The funny thing about humans is our genetic code is humans.
we are cancer.
Well, the problem is when you start talking about that kind of stuff, nature as a whole does have problems, and that's why things go extinct. That's why cycles happen. Certain things live at certain times and then go away, and then or evolve into something else.
But maybe that's just the nature of things.
That's the nature of nature.
Yeah, it's unpredictable, and I wouldn't necessarily call it a flaw. I mean, you know, the way we're raised. I mean, I could see how intuitive you might want to say, like, yeah, that's a flaw. But
And I would agree with you 100% that religion totally holds advancing back. I mean, look at the fight. The fight between Christian and Islam has been happening since they fucking were around. And
Yeah.
what does it do?
It divides
nothing.
us.
It
divides
does nothing
us.
but fucking throw us into, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. I'm going to kill you. No, I'm going to kill you.
My way of believing is the one way that gets you the golden ticket to the afterlife. And if you don't believe this way, then you can't be in my group. And then there's other groups like that. So then it automatically divides us from each other. You know, it's like, oh, you don't believe my way? Sorry. Even though maybe we agree on a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But ultimately, sorry, you don't get to go to the fucking heaven town.
But yeah, I mean, it's petty bullshit that this religion still causes fights, and it still is causing fights because the Middle East has been turmoil for the last 4,000 fucking years.
Yeah, long time.
Why? Because of religion. It's all religion based.
Yeah.
Well, I'm mad at you because you practice this type, and I hate you because of it.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
It doesn't work.
And that's the number one thing. That's why in this stream we don't say certain things. We're not bigots because nobody should hate each other just because the person's not the way somebody is. We shouldn't hate each other because of somebody's religion. We shouldn't hate each other because of anything. If you're gonna hate somebody for being somebody. Seriously, and that's why I hate certain people. I hate people for being the way they fucking are. And that's why if I'm gonna hate somebody, I hate somebody. That's why I don't like Mark in my server. He talks shit all the goddamn time, and I can't stand his fucking mouth. Do I hate him because of the color of his skin, or because of his ethnicity, or because of, what he practices as religion? Fuck no. I don't give a shit who he is, what he is, but I hate him because of his mouth. And that's how we should view it. You suck as a human. Stop being like that.
I disagree with that. Because hate does not get you anywhere. Hate upsets you. Like I try to not hate, not just to not hate, but because I've come to know in my life that's a lot of energy that I take away from other aspects of myself.
Just turn for a
to
second.
hate
Right
something.
there, right there. If you're having problems with the stream and it's freezing, try this. There's a couple things you can do, and that will help you out right there.
All right, anyways, continue on.
Yeah, no, hate is a tough one.
But the biggest thing in my stream is I don't allow hate words. I don't allow the N word. I don't allow people calling each other the F word.
Louis C.K.'s bit on the N word is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
That's
I don't allow the F word, and I'm not talking about fuck. I'm talking about the word fag or faggot. I don't allow it in my stream because it's nothing but bigotry and hate.
It is.
And I have a lot of viewers, a lot of viewers who are just normal people, normal kids, normal adults.
Yeah.
Dudes, chicks, transgenders. Male to female, female to male, cross dressers, fucking. Gay people, like my admins, people I play with, are all these different backgrounds, including the people in my stream, and that shouldn't fucking matter to anybody.
No, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
And if we start asking, here's where I was kind of going with hate, because like a few years ago, I took a yoga class. I knew this chick who was into yoga, taught yoga, and I took a shot.
What's up, Dragon?
I liked it.
Aragon, what's up, Aragon?
I liked it. But it taught me about going within myself a little bit, dude. And when you start doing that, you learn all kinds of shit that, you assume that because you're you know all the stuff about yourself.
Right.
But unless you look within a little bit, you don't know that you don't know shit.
It doesn't even phase you.
He knows you're bluffing, that's why.
I know.
Hey! God, Rusty. Oh, man.
Doesn't even do it to you.
He's like...
Watch your dome piece. I kind of feel weird having a dude under my desk. Good thing there's a rear cam to see what's going on.
Oh, he dumped all these tags.
What tags?
I don't know. I don't know.
They're not mine.
No, I don't know what it is. They're not tags. I thought it was...
I'll pick it up later. Don't worry about it.
What the fuck? I'm just trying to see what it is, dude. I don't want the cat to pick this shit up either. It seems like that would be bad. But
I feel kind of awkward up here in this lonely chair with you under my table. Not gonna lie, it's a little.
That's why I'm going out this way.
It got a little strange there for a second. But yeah, I mean, all types of things like this. I love talking about all this crazy different shit.
Yeah,
we
me
went
too.
from space, physics to bigotry and hate
And yoga.
and yoga.
And a cat named Rusty.
Fucking cat.
Fucking cat. I love you, Rusty.
We love you, you son of a bitch. Probably literally. How long have I been playing Eve? I've been playing Eve since 2003. if you're talking about today, I just had it.
What
up.
time is it now?
Yeah, what time is it now?
Just kidding.
It's 4 something.
Let's knock out that shit.
4:03.
Let's knock out that shit. Otherwise, we'll.
All right, guys. I'm gonna turn the music back up, and we'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna get some food too, and then we'll go continue on with some gameplay.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed what you see, hit the follow button because we talk about this kind of stuff a lot.
Yeah. Why wouldn't we?
And I plan on, and if he agrees to it, having Darren back here a couple times to talk about more stuff like this.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man.
On stream with us.
I'm down.
You're down. Cool. So now we got a new segment. We talk with Darren. Was there a stream yesterday? No, there was not, Destiny. I had too much stuff going on yesterday. Didn't have it on. Sorry about that. I need to disable the screensaver because otherwise we're gonna have a bad time.
Don't have a bad time.
Yeah, I need to find where that is because I don't remember. Where is the screensaver? Displays? Probably not there. Where is it? Darren's Dickerings. That's actually a good title. Where, if I don't disable the screensaver, you're not going to be able to see anything, and it's going to suck. Where power options? No. Oh well, maybe. Power off after a certain amount of time. Choose when to turn off the displays. Here we go. Never. Save changes. There we go. Darren, how do you spell your name?
D-A-R-I-N.
D-A-R-I-N? Darren. Darren, you to say different.
Talk to my mom and dad. What do you want?
Okay, well, I'm going to turn the TV part up because that's not going to matter for the stream. So I'll leave this up and I'll turn the music up, guys. Actually, I'm going to need that back on. Fuck, now I just screwed up everything. Oh, it did screw it up. It didn't turn off the thing. That's good. That's a first. Personalization, huh?